Always do sober what you do drunk. That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut.
Hemingway said that.
Yes, he did. And he said it to me.
What's up, everybody? It's Keith and Alan here, and today we are going to be talking about our review of Tusk. We actually saw the movie Tusk a while ago when it first came out, but
in select theaters,
it's on demand right now.
You have to have a sense of humor to see this movie.
A twisted sense of humor?
Yes. You can't really call it a horror movie.
No, not at all.
I can't even call it a horror movie. I could barely call it a comedy. There are some problems I do have with the movie, though. I mean, it was not a perfect movie. There's that one act in the middle that took a sharp turn.
Oh, the stretch?
The stretch.
I don't want you to go to Canada tomorrow.
For the podcast. It's what I do.
I travel around and I interview weird or interesting people.
I loved every minute of it. Justin Long was phenomenal in that movie. I love Justin Long. Anything he does, actually. But Justin Long in this one made me
Justin
laugh.
Long doesn't do enough horror movies.
So look out, you crazy Canucks! Wandering Wallace takes a raunchy road trip up to the Great White North.
Tusk is basically two podcasters, one played by Justin Long, the other played by Haley Joel Osment. Yeah, he looks weird if you haven't seen him recently.
He's got baby face with a grown man's head.
Yeah, so it's Justin Long and Haley Joel Osment. They're podcasters. Justin Long decides to go to Canada to interview this one kid who they.
It was kind of a rehashing of the Star Wars kid.
Yeah,
one of the old YouTube videos, where except this one the guy cuts his leg off. Which, at that point, it happens in the beginning of the movie. The movie was almost losing me there. The CG that they used for the kid that cuts his leg off was not good. It was not a good start.
I think it was intentionally be bad, the CG, though, for that.
I don't know.
I had a long and storied life at sea. And after eons of oceanic adventure, I know I do not wish to spend my remaining years alone when I have such stories to share.
Yeah, he's basically just looking for creepy, weird people in Canada so he can use something on his web show.
Goes to the guy's house, meets the guy.
Good evening.
It's nice to meet you.
Could I interest you in some tea?
The guy has big plans for him.
Big plans, yes, big plans.
Involving a walrus.
Walrus saved your life?
The walrus is far more evolved than any man I've heard of. Present company included.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
His plan, turn him into a human walrus man.
Much on the heels of Human Centipede. It's kind of even making fun of Human Centipede, I'm thinking a little bit.
To an extent, yeah.
It kind of feels like a parody of Human Centipede. I mean, I don't even know. The tone of the movie is weird because it kind of takes itself seriously, but then right in the middle of the movie, once Johnny Depp's character gets involved, it just stops taking itself seriously, and then it just becomes a crazy, crazy movie.
Would you?
There. It'll be all right, Mr. Tusk.
You haven't seen anything until you see what Justin Long becomes.
When you see a full-blown walrus man, it will change your life.
I remember when we went to see the movie in the theaters, and there was probably like 6 people in that theater.
There's 6 people in the whole movie theater.
And just looking at him in that theater, I can only imagine the looks on the other people's faces when they saw him, because my look was priceless. I was like,
Why are you doing this?
Serious horror fans who will watch this and be like, what the hell am I looking at right now? They would just be totally absurd. You got your people like us who we watch anything just to be entertained. And I mean, in that sense, it's a very entertaining movie. And it was absurd, but it was just funny to see the absurdity of it. Yeah, and then you got the people that don't know what the fuck it is. They don't know what the hell they're getting themselves into. And then when they see this movie, oh man, they're in store for something.
yes.
I would not recommend going into this movie if you know nothing about it.
You know what? You can go into not knowing it. Just don't go into it expecting anything serious.
Yeah, because you'll be in for a shock.
I don't care how serious. I don't care how serious a movie starts, and I don't care how serious you think it is at the beginning. Don't expect it to be serious.
No. I mean, it's a guy turning a person into a walrus. That's crazy. That's absurd.
Are you really mourning your humanity? I don't understand. Who in the hell would want to be human?
Been a huge Kevin Smith fan ever since, Mallrats and Clerks style of directing, the quirkiness of everything. And it definitely shines through, except that one scene with Johnny Depp where I kind of felt like he was afraid to say cut on him. The scene where they're in the diner and it just kind of goes on for about...
It's like a 10 to 15 minute scene of Johnny Depp just rambling in a French accent.
And it kind of takes you out of the movie because it happens after the walrus parts. You already see the absurdity, but then it cuts away from it just to have Johnny Depp ramble for about 10 to 15 minutes. And it's like, get over it. It's like, come on, stop it. It's like, just go back to what we want to see.
So what happened after the boat sank?
I was alone, and then something very swift and frightening moved by me.
I loved the way Justin Long looked as a walrus man.
Yes.
It's hideous and disturbing to see it, and I loved it.
And even the beginning of the movie, it starts off a really creepy vibe when the guy's telling all the stories about how he was lost at sea and he was injured and this walrus, nurtured him back to health and he had to kill and eat the walrus that nurtured him to survive. So that's why he wants to become the supreme walrus man.
Mr. Tusk, by the way.
Mr.
That's
Tusk.
the name of he dubbed the walrus Mr. Tusk.
Yes, and he's basically trying to recreate Mr. Tusk through just normal, average, anyday stragglers and anybody that will come to his house. It's really hilarious. He looks like Walter White.
He looks exact. I love the way he acted in that movie. He was crazy enough that you don't believe it because it's just ridiculous how crazy it is. But it's just right about the crazy that makes you laugh at him.
Yes, it is very enjoyable. I mean, the acting. The funny thing about it was the acting was great.
Yes,
it was a very well acted movie for such a ridiculous plot and premise.
He hasn't called me in 3 days. I'm worried.
I
feel bad for the guy, even though his character was kind of an ass.
By the ending, though, you feel bad for him. You're like, oh man, Justin, I'm sorry.
As much as they portray his character to be an ass, you still feel bad for him. He has those sad puppy dog walrus eyes.
You know what? And ain't that the truth?
He looks so sad as a walrus.
Yeah, it's something to behold.
The guy basically turned his body into a big mess of skin.
Yeah, you also find out that Justin Long isn't the first person he's done this to. He's done it to other people. Justin Long just happens to be the one that lasted the longest.
He's the one that lasted the longest. Great movie. I would definitely recommend seeing it. Just to have a good laugh. It's definitely fun for, getting with a group of people.
It's fun if you want to just freak somebody the fuck out.
Yeah.
If you want somebody to go, oh, what the hell? This is the movie to go.
I mean, I don't even know if that would do it, because once it gets to the walrus, he just looks so ridiculous. He just looks so ridiculous. I don't think anybody can take that seriously.
You know what? I take it more seriously than a Human Centipede.
Yeah, well, Human Centipede, they didn't actually try to make it look like a centipede.
I wish they would have. That might have been a little more creepy.
That was a little more disturbing. This one's just like, when you see it, you're just like, what the hell?
Medically, it makes no sense.
No, you're looking at it like, are they serious? Like, this is, they actually pull it off.
Medically, it makes no sense. I mean, if it was medically possible, though, kudos to the guy that could do it. But it looks like a mess of monster. Like, the guy cuts out his shin bones, Justin Long's shin bones, and turns his shin bones into his tusks.
Yes.
He files them down and basically makes them tusks. And then his grand plan is to all boil down to him fighting Justin Long, walrus to
man walrus.
Man walrus.
The movie, it sounds ridiculous, and it is ridiculous, but you know what? That's the movie.
How far is Bifrost from here?
It's about 2 hours from here.
It's about 2 hours away.
I hate American guys.
I recommend it. I give it an A+. It's an A+ in my book. I saw Tusk once, and I would gladly watch it again and again. I'd revisit that movie plenty of times.
Yeah, I'll give it an A-, because you know what? We saw it in the movie theater, and even with such a small group of people that we saw it with, it was still fun just to see people's reactions, because there was a guy that knew what it was, and he was having a blast like we were.
Right.
Then there was a group of people that didn't know what it was, and it was so totally crazy and foreign to them. But it was fun watching their reactions, but I give it an A-.
Scared. This guy wants to turn me into an animal or something.
The character of Johnny Depp's character didn't bug me. It was just that they used him too much. You know, there was a backstory with him and the guy for some reason that didn't need to be there. It just felt like padding. Really, it really was just padding.
It was just to get, hey, I got Johnny Depp, might as well use him.
Might as well use him. And I feel like they were afraid to direct him because I think he just went on too long. But other than that, I loved it. I mean, the prosthetic of Justin Long, just seeing Justin Long as a walrus is phenomenal.
And you know what? It's a great movie. Watch the movie. I promise you will not be disappointed in this movie.
No. Unless you're serious. Unless you got to be serious about your horror movies now. I mean, if you think Insidious is the top be-all, end-all, then I don't think you're going to enjoy Tusk very much.
You have to have a sense of humor to get Tusk.
You have to have a sense of humor.
Because Tusk also has a lot of inside jokes.
A lot of inside jokes. A lot of Canada humor. But Justin Long was making fun of Canada for the entire movie.
Fun movie to watch. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. I enjoyed it. Alan enjoyed it.
I loved it. As serious as you are, when you see Justin Long as a walrus, you will open up. The world will be your oyster.
That's my word. I give it an A+.
Yep. I give it an A- just because of that little stretch, but that's it. That's our review on Tusk. Watch it.
Enjoy it.